Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't want to show any of that, huh? Think that's bad? I don't know. All right, we are live. Whoa. That was an excited live. Start the event. Start it. Do I want to tag everyone? I guess so. How do I share my... Oh, it's here. Can I just copy this? Think so? About to find out. Oh, I might make people angry. I just pinged everybody at once. It's okay. They'll get over it. I'm over it already. Hey, Alec, what's going on? Good to see you. All right. Almost set up. This takes me way too long. I need a third monitor, like, surprisingly desperately. Is it better if I have more light or worse? Probably worse. We're not going to do that. Cool. How's everyone doing tonight? Everyone being Alec B. Yeah, you know, I don't even know if I built a like micro computer, mini ATX, micro ATX, whatever the smallest one is. ITX, not the smallest, but a very small one. I built an ITX, and well, the graphics card is a normal size actually. It's the Dan Case. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but let's see. Dan Case A4 SFX. This is it. So this is the computer case I got. Is there not more pictures than that? And I have a 2080 in it, so that was part of why I bought this one. Was it fits a full size graphics card. At the time, that was like a top of the line graphics card. Obviously, not the case anymore. But I have GeForce. I don't have an RTX. Is that GeForce? Yeah, that's GeForce, right? I think so. Anyway, yeah, that's what I use. I like it. It's nice. The loudest thing is the graphics card for sure. I didn't water cool this one. I've water cooled in the past. I have a giant tower in the past. It's like this. You can't really tell. It's massive with a quad radiator, which I wonder if I have pictures of that anymore. I probably do. Let me see if I can find it real quick. All bookmarks. Oh my. Yeah, this is some old stuff. Oh, here it is. There we go. These are old pictures, but yeah, that's my last baby. And by baby, I mean like the baby that was born in Texas that weighed 15 pounds when it came out. Yeah, that's the baby there. There's a water pump, the reservoir. It was water cooled on the CPU and the graphics card, which you can kind of see. And then this is the quad, which I think the next pic. Yeah, there we go. The next picture shows. What the heck? I can't click on that though. What happened? Anyway, and it has a DVD player for some odd reason. I'm like, oh, I'm totally gonna use this. I'm not sure that's ever opened. I don't even know if it opens. Period. And then these are all the hard drives here. There were two regular hard drives, like this is pre SSD mania, but there was one or two SSDs for like the operating system, and then the platinum drives for everything else. Good times. Tuning it live from 30,000 feet. Kodu, where are you flying to, man? That's awesome. Well, you're my first. Does that make me in the Mile High Club, or do we have to make out? Hopefully, we don't have to make out. That'd be troublesome. Used to build micro ATX. Yeah, I did a couple of those. Yeah, I used to be a gamer back in the day. I still play games, but not like I used to. I used to be a StarCraft streamer too. That was a thing. I am also a nerd. Flying home to Houston. Oh, you can see the 15-pound baby then. Say hi. You want me to look up your flight? Is that weird? I feel like that'd be weird. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna dox you in some weird way because somebody's gonna be like, wow, there's only X number of passengers and your name's Kodu. Zerg Rush, yes, Aggleton, good to see you. Yeah, I was so StarCraft One Brood War. I liked Protoss was my race, and in StarCraft Two was Zerg. And I just when I started StarCraft Two, I never lost for like 2 months because it just wasn't like competitive enough at early on. So I got bored of it and eventually stopped playing that. To be honest, I don't like StarCraft Two as much as I like StarCraft Brood War. WoW player. I played WoW in the beta in like the year 2000. I wasn't in the alpha, but I was when the max level was 40. The max level was 40. They had just released in the beta cohort. They had just released the level 40 mounts, and the Tauren had Plane Strider or something like that, where they just ran fast as a mount. That was like, okay, that was weird. But it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, that was very OG. And I remember, like, I always swore I would never pay for it, and then I did for like 2 years. I played up until, was it Burning Crusade that went to 70 and did some raiding and stuff. But then I was just like, I can't dedicate this type of time so consistently all the time. So I eventually quit that and got into selling options. Like, oh, it's 8 o'clock. We're supposed to start talking about selling options. But yeah, I loved playing it. It was fun. It was a good game. And early on, like when that game first came out, there was just nothing else like it. I had never seen anything like it ever. So it was cool. Wrath of the Lich King was a beast. You were a healer. I was the tank. I liked being the center of attention, so I did either DPS warrior or tanking because again I was a nerd. It was the best thing in the world. It was a lot of fun, man. And back then it was buggy. Like there was random stuff that you weren't. It was beta. There was stuff you weren't supposed to be able to do. You could like jump over walls into the mountains behind. You could go behind the entirety of the world in a couple of random places. There were some early videos on it on YouTube. And dueling was my thing. My favorite thing was I made in Burning Crusade, I made a twink, as they called it, level 39 warlock that could literally clear out the entire what do they call that? Battlegrounds? Like literally 60-0 rounds in kills, like 100% ratio. What's going on, Bob Dog? Is that an impersonator or the real deal? That's got to be the real deal. You know, I just realized this is wrong. I didn't update all these positions. So I don't have 700 shares. I only have 300 right now, which is very upsetting. Very upsetting. I do still have deck. I do have master strategy. Lily, I still have VXX. I still have 1,600 shares. Oh my God. Lily X I still have, which is up a ton. That price isn't right. It was 13 something today. Unless well, maybe it dropped. Actually, it did drop today, right? Yeah, so that might be right. Core Weave, I now have 1,000 of. ASTS, I actually only have 600. I wrote the number in wrong here. I gotta fix that too. Bull, I now have 6,000 of. GME is right. Archer, I should have 3,000. I had 850 puts. I think that means I get assigned them. Google, I only have 70 shares. I cannot believe those cash secured puts did not get me more shares. I do have Caramel, as I like to call it, and I have not yet gotten back in UNH. I keep looking at it, but I'm not in it. The real deal. All right. No, I don't think Reddit's on the list yet. They got a while. They have they're not they don't make the market cap requirement for multiple earnings cycles in a row. I would say Reddit's got a shot at it next year. Whale going heavy. Yep, I saw that too. Big calls on VXX. Look, let's talk VXX for a minute. VXX is not like, it's not an investment. You're not investing in anything. You're hedging. That's all it is. Like, if shit goes haywire, right now, I will talk about this. This is down 4K, and then I'm up like 6K, 7K, whatever. So this is a new all-time high for me again. And I'm like, and that's despite VXX being in the toilet and whatever else, right? So for me, it's like, look, if things go to shit, I'm going to be really happy that I've got VXX hedging me. And I do have a limit sell on some of my shares, and then the rest are uncovered, which I'm not sure limit sell is covered because you could blow past that in a gap anyway, but you know what I mean. This whole talk with the Department of War was spooky. I thought that was going to have a bigger impact than it did, but then I started thinking, no, they think it's going to have a bigger impact than it did. I don't know. It's hard to say. September, not starting off too mega hot. It's fine though. I'm happy with it. It's been a good week. This is the first week of September, not even a full week, right? So for 4 days, 14K, that's not right. That includes stuff for next week. 6K, it's almost 7K. Not bad, especially since I took a huge loss. Huge. That's relative. A loss on Lucid shares, getting the hell out of that. No regrets. That was definitely the right move. I'll bring that up too. There it is, TradingView. Let's start with Lucid, and we'll get into the trades in a minute. But man, they did this reverse split announcement, and I was just like, yep, nope, I'm out, because this is just how it always goes. It's just a mega drop. They did recover a little bit here. That's good. I lose all belief in a company that does reverse splits 9 times out of 10. Unless it's coming and there's like really good reason, it tends to be a kiss of death because it loses that baseline of, like people have been watching it bounce off $2, $2, which is the equivalent of 20 as we're seeing here. And we've broken down below that, and we're below even retesting. We didn't hit any of our averages. So like, this is just bad. I don't like it at all. And I'm probably not I don't think I'm going to look at the chart again for quite some time, if ever. I'm never going back into it. I'm of the opinion that if you're going to play Lucid, you should play either Tesla or Rivian, or if you're a masochist, Neo, whatever you want to call that, NIO. So not my jam anymore, but that's okay. That's okay. So let's get into it. Yeah, good week. Despite, if we just look at premiums, which we'll do that first. If we just look at premiums here, it was a great week. If we take out the share appreciation and take out the Lucid sell, almost 10K, about 1%. If we include the swing trade, which, that's part of my stuff, it's basically a 1% result, just under 1%. So that was fine. That was like oh, wait a second. I'm including some random ass loss in there from, not loss, just a sell buyback. It was exactly 1% for the week. So target achieved premium wise. And you got to just cut bait sometimes, right? So that's what we did. And we got a lot of stuff that happened this week. I will say this, it didn't feel like a great week. Like we had some nice things happen and continue to happen, by the way. Is Loan Depot still up? Jeez, what the hell, man? Loan Depot is over 3, up 8% after hours on a 27% day. Insanity. Citron Research sees significant upside. Does Dick work for Citron? Is that what's happening here? Dude's been hawking this stuff on After Hour. I finally jumped in with. I bought 20 contracts, 20 leaps for 65 cents. Maybe I should have bought 2,000 of these things. Jeez. I believed it. I told this to Bob Dog, actually, and Average Advisor, that I'm a fan of, not of, I don't want to say of Dick, because that's going to be clipped. So we're not going to say that. But of the user whose name is DICK, he, the user, I assume he, does pretty good DD. Dick's DD. All right. He does pretty good DD. And honestly, he's been pretty on point with a lot of things. So I read his DD. I looked into a little bit, and it seemed legit. So, I was like, all right, we'll give it a shot. I think any of you who follow along by now probably know that he made a little play in it too. I don't think it was huge. Probably bigger than what I did. But no, I'm not gonna sign up for your stupid stuff, investing.com. So it's been already, like, I got in here 201, or maybe it was 20 something over here, whatever. It was in this range. I missed the 196. It was like opening bell, $2 flat. I think I got 65-cent leaps, and now they are whatever, $1.50 already. Holy cow. But his view is he's seeing it, and look at this. I mean, from there to here, we're up 46%. That doesn't seem right. Oh, because it doesn't have After Hour over 3. We're over 50% right now. He's targeting $14 a share. I don't know about that. I'll take 5. My target is wild in that it's a 500% return is the target. You're never going to hear me say that ever outside of like random ass lotto ticket plays like this one. But that's what I'm shooting for, and I think it's possible. I don't want to say probable, but it's about to cross the $1 billion. Actually, it might be above $1 billion market cap as of After Hours. Right? What is that? Let's break out the calculator early here. 956 times 1.07. Oh yes, it's over $1 billion. We're good. We're to the moon. We broke $1 billion. My wife's calling me. Hold on a second. Hello. I'm on my live stream. You're on YouTube. Do you need something immediately? All right, see you in a bit. Love you. Bye. No, that wasn't fake. That was her for real. I didn't just pretend I got called by my wife. So you think I'm loved? All right. What do we got? Justin made it. Awesome. Not to jump topics, but am I still in Caramel? Yes, I am. I got 1,000 shares and 10 puts at 750. So what did they do? Today was pretty green for them. Not like mega green, but green. Yeah, they spiked. Dude, this stock is ridiculous. It's all over the place already. Look at this. 660 down to 540. Back up over 580, whatever. Peaking at like that's a big swing. Like if you do the percentages, those are big swings. So I get why the premiums are what they are. To be honest, I have been meaning to do more DD on this one. This was the analyst suggestion from Discord, and I haven't actually done my own like deep dive. It's not even a 1% play though, or maybe it is. No, it's not even 1%. So I will check into this. By the time I get assigned shares in a couple of weeks, I will take a more definitive stance here. But I like the premiums. I think pretty well covered for the exact moment. Definitely some risk of dropping back down to from where we came. I hope not to the ones, but there's the max chart. We got a cup and handle here. Maybe I should bring this up on TradingView. Did I draw it on this? I don't think so. Oh, I did. Of course. I'm sorry. I'm going to mute myself as I clear my throat 1,000. I've been talking too much. I did that stream earlier. Now I'm like completely out of it. But dude, we are cup and handling because we drew this at least last week. So this could be legit. And if it is, I owe the analyst a, I don't know, something, a hot dog maybe. We'll give him a hot dog. There is a cup on every chart. I like, those 3D artwork things where it's like, what do you see? Every time I'm like, a cup and handle and a God arrow. That's all there is in life. You know what? I should start naming these. Like this is probably a C cup, right? Maybe we'll call that a C cup. It's a decent size and a nice little bounce off of those C cups. That's all right. We have Theta Mommies. I should not use that analogy anymore. I'm going to get fined. All right, back to where we were. That was trade tracker. So I haven't even hit my first trade. That's how many tangents we're on. This is fantastic. The Devil's Arrow on Bull. No, I took that one off, dude. I think I had it on CoreWeave, which is the first trade we're going to talk about. CoreWeave. I sold these last week and bought them back for pretty good profit. Apparently, I should have just waited and let it go all the way to expiration. But there was a bounce, and it looked like we were apparently at one point going back over 100, as we see here. And then it was clearly just a dead cat bounce, fake out, whatever you want to call it. Where's my fibs? I want my fibs. And now we're testing a little bit here, and this breakdown was a little scary, but I don't know. I'm not worried. I just got assigned a bunch more, another 500 shares at 92. That trade. Oh no, is that next week? Where is it? I need to, you know what? I need to organize here. I didn't organize before the call. Yeah, so or 95? I swore I sold them at 92. Oh well. So I got a bunch of 95. Cost basis is 90, which is basically what we're at. 89, whatever, close enough, right? So average down to 97.50 across 1,000 shares. And you know what? That's fine. I'll sell $100 CCs on them probably for next week. And I think, we could look. They'll probably have pretty decent premiums even that far out. Maybe I got to go 2 weeks. Maybe I'll go to the 19th. Let's take a look. $100. Oh, gosh. Come on. 95 to 100. I don't care about all these low numbers. Nobody cares about low numbers here. Yeah, all right. 50 cents is 0.5%, but the week out following is $1.50 on the monthly. So I'll probably sell the monthly. That's pretty good. I mean, 1.5%. That's weird though. The return on this is 0.75 on a weekly basis, whereas this is 0.5 clearly, right? 0.54. So I don't know. I'll very likely be looking at this 19th for that date, but at the same point, I'll probably give it a little bit of time to recover. And maybe we will see a bounce back to, call it 95 to 98, this range. I don't know if we'll bounce back to 100. It seems it's just as likely, I would guess, for that to happen as what happened here. This is not like a bear flag or anything, in my opinion. Not a well-formed one anyway. So, yeah, I think there's a fine chance. Could be reversing our momentum here. RSI was in the toilet for the short term, but we'll see. We'll see if that bounces us back up a little bit. It'll be all right. Okay, so back to what we were talking about. CoreWeave made a couple bucks this week for us. Collectively, $2,700. So that was pretty good. I'll take that on a total of now it's about 100K, right, of total position size. So that's a good size position for my port. That's 8 or 9%. So I'm fine with that. I don't think I want to go much higher right now. What I'll probably do is just wait, and if we continue to drop, I may average down one more time. But to be honest, I will not average down unless we drop as far as say I don't know if we're going to hit this. This doesn't actually appear to be a gap. I'm going to delete this. On the daily chart, there is a gap to 41, but that's not really meaningful. I know it's partially filled, so whatever. In fact, the wicks kind of touch. That's probably not even really a gap then. So I thought there, maybe was kind of a gap here, but realistically, the next like arguable gap. But again, we got the crossing wick, so I think we're already here. We filled this. I think we're at. We could. I don't want to call the bottom in this case because we could go further down based on the insane run up and whatever the hell shape we're making here. This was the upside down cup and handle that I was worried about with the devil's arrow, but I deleted it, which is good because now I own shares. So I'm hopeful that this actually, you know what I'm going to draw, right? Like I hope this turns into another bam cup. That would be great, right? I don't think it will, but I do think we have a fine chance to trend sideways slightly up to earnings. And frankly, we'll probably have some spikes up to like 130 again or 125. It's just what this stock does. And that's why the premiums are great, just like Reddit, So good one, good payout, happy to own it. That's the key. And then we had a really funny Rocket Lab play. And the Rocket Lab play was, this is like, it seemed good and then it got even better. It was sold on the 3rd and bought back, I think, 2 hours later. I'm pretty sure for 50%. It was ridiculous. Hey, Superman. Good to see you. He threw out 60 for a bottom on CoreWeave. Yeah, we talked about that. And I think that was because of this apparent potential gap over here. Also, like an IPO spiked to 60. So that could be a thing. If it goes that low, I will average in further. But, the more I read about it and hear about it, the more bullish I'm finding myself getting on it. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, it's getting warm in here. I got to take this off. Don't get any ideas. It's just a sweater, all right? Nothing else is coming off today that you can see anyway. All right, Rocket Lab. Let's bring up Rocket Lab. That was a good one. I got into this because of Muffin Man, who isn't even on the call. Muffin Man, where are you? I think he's on a plane too. And we were drawing channels on this earlier, on the call earlier. So basically, what was we got? I gotta go closer to the day here. This is, what are we looking at? There we go. Let's zoom in to, let's do a 2-hour chart. Is that too much? Did I just crash this thing? What happened? This? No? Everything's broken? What is going on? Okay, apparently you can crash TradingView. I did not know that. So in about 5 seconds, we'll go to the website version here. No? Okay. Well, I apologize for those of you watching and expecting more out of this stream than what you're getting. Disappointment and dissatisfaction, clearly. Let's see. Wow, TradingView itself is slow. Is it getting DDoSed? I wonder if it's getting DDoSed. It's probably getting DDoSed. All right, I lost chat here. Sorry, chat. Hey, Peter RB. She is upset. You might have called it. She's not home yet, though. Maybe she called in a favor. All right, where's Rocket Lab? There we are. Launch the chart, TradingView. Watch, it's working on the main app now, right? It is. But I broke it because I clicked so many buttons. Okay, and we're back. All of that for nothing. Let's go to Rocket Lab now. Yeah, this must be back-end stuff on whatever. Okay, so Rocket Lab on the 3rd was wild because we were pretty far beaten down at one point. And maybe it was on the second. Did I do it on the 2nd? Maybe I did it on the. It had to have been on the 2nd then, because I sold the option like here for 45, and I was like, yeah, this seems like a good price. honestly, looking at it again, I'm not sure I would have done that. I probably would have waited because I don't think I drew this channel until after. But anyway, it worked out really well. Luck of the Irish. I sold the option here, and it like just immediately went on this random run to 50, and I bought it back for 50%. Right? Sometimes you get lucky, and you can do that. And I didn't actually want to buy it back. I wouldn't have been assigned the shares apparently either. It would have finished slightly out of the money, although it would have made me sweat a little bit on Friday, I guess, Thursday, Friday. But I redeployed that capital, so it was fine. As long as you're using that cash for another play, it pays to buy back. If you're not going to use the cash because it's getting too late in the week and you're doing weeklies or whatever, or you're not going to have time to look at charts and stuff and sell another option, then don't. Just let it go to expiration. Who cares? But in this case, I did have plans to do that. So we can close this now. And yeah, I mean, it was only $450, but it wasn't a huge position. It was just 1,000 shares. So, for me, that it's like 3.5%, 4%. What are you all laughing at? Stop laughing at my wife unplugging the router, okay? We're not losing frames today, right? Stream look good? Please let me know if I start stuttering at all. That was a weird one. Turns out that 5G is not better than just regular old slow Wi-Fi. So that's what I'm sticking to this week. Okay, we've got a bunch of Reddit. I'm going to organize the Reddit stuff. Boom. And Reddit was great. Reddit's always great. When is Reddit not great? I don't know. All good? Cool. Hey, Fox. My Labubu buddy. 30K feed. Hey, Kodu, what is streaming like on 30K feet? Like, do you watch me? Is it in like 360p or do you see like 1080? Dude, AOL was my jam in 1997. I was quite partial to AOL 2.5. It was better for programming than 3.0. 3.0 was difficult to program for some reason. Blah, boo, boo. My daughter did not get one for her birthday, by the way, Flox. I know you were wondering. My wife apparently was like, no, we will not have that in our house. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I didn't know that was a problem. 720p on a plane. Dude, incredible. That's incredible. Frontier rolled out fiber 2 years after you moved there. Yeah, we're on fiber here. No, I'm not. I'm not on fiber. I'm on cable. Cable's fine. I've been on both. I've had fiber. And honestly, I don't notice much difference. I don't notice any difference. Maybe I would have cared if I was still playing like Counter-Strike types of games, but I don't. All right, Reddit. I'm getting distracted. I'm sorry. Buy UAL stock. All right, we'll do. $4,400 on Reddit this week. Not bad. Cannot seem to get shares assigned though. Like I have one regret on Reddit, and that is I highly debated and like reverse FOMO'd out. I don't know what the term is, to just straight up buy shares on the dip to 210. No. Yes, was that this week? No, this is this week. 212, 215, right? We hit like 212. Okay, not quite. At this point, I sold 210s and I was like, maybe I should buy like 500 shares. And I really wish I did. I would have covered them and they would have been called away, but it would have been a good play for one. And I kind of want more shares right now, but this is a new drawing, a new cup. I think we're going to bounce off at 250. I've said this before, like we did here. Now we went a little higher, I know, but we essentially tested the 250 and this fib-ish area. I think we're going to bounce 250 again. I don't see any reason why we go past. We could go past, but I think we have a good potential at cupping again. Now, I will say that since this cup was drawn, I've had literally 100% hit rate with Reddit. I feel like I know the stock, and that's probably a blind spot, right? So we'll see. We'll see if this pans out. Then, I don't want to draw the handle yet, but I do think we might cup. And if we cup and handle, then I do think we break through. All right, I'll draw the freaking lines. I want to anyway. If we, yellow. I'm kind of digging the yellow. I don't know about you guys. But if we cup and handle, again, and this will probably be, whatever, something like this. I do think then from here we start looking at, whoops. I wanted to move first. I do think we start looking at this range. Maybe as high as here. Like maybe up to 275-ish. Something like that. I think that's possible. I don't want to say it's probable, but like that is my next mini prediction for the moment. The arrow. I don't know. Can you get dial-up still? AOL is finally discontinuing dial-up internet this month. Really? Okay, I didn't know AOL still did internet. I knew they had like a website and stuff, but I didn't know or is it like Net Zero? Remember that thing? That's crazy. Anyway, I can't wait to go on Reddit on dial-up. You could go on Reddit on dial-up because so much of it is text-based. Like that would actually semi-work if you disabled image previews. So yeah, I'm still mega bullish on this stock. We're above all these stacked averages that look fantastic. I think average advisor probably has an orgasm when looking at this chart, right? Like this is just very pretty. So I want to own more shares. I only have 300. I currently have 300 covered next week for 260. 260 is basically this fib. And I don't think that will be there by, what is that? The 12th? Oh no, the arrow. Ooh, that's tight. So the thing is, that'll roll out forever because that's in a taxable account. And so those shares, I only put 10,000 into that in the taxable account, and it's at 65 or something right now. 65,000. It's insane gains on that. So I really don't want that taxable event. So I'm probably going to avoid, if I can, assignment there and just keep rolling out for as long as possible. That's the idea. And I play those very low delta, like 0.15, 0.1, 0.2, that range. I play them pretty far out, but they still pay. I still got $1.50 a contract on 260 when the stock was at 228 or 230. Like that's insane. That's incredible. For a week out, it was great. Hi, Tyler. First time attempting the wheel. You did it on open. Oh, you were a brave soul. CSP got assigned, and then and now your CC is going to get assigned. Should you roll it or just let it assign? Okay, well, there's a couple things. One, not financial advice. Don't sue me. This is educational advice only. All that fun stuff. But like things you want to think about is one, is it in a taxable account? If it's in a taxable account, I would think twice. I would look at, if it's in a taxable account, I'd probably roll it, right? Like, especially if it's big gains. If it's not big gains, then do whatever you want. I don't know how many contracts you have. If it's in like a Roth or an IRA or whatever, then I would let it get assigned and just replay it. If you want shares that badly and you have the funds, just buy shares. Like, that's okay. You can extend your position, especially if the shares are going to get called away. So, that's up to you, obviously. But those are a couple of ways you can think about it and look at doing it that could work. Again, I do think it depends greatly if you're in taxable or a non-taxable account. Hopefully that helps you figure out direction. But yeah, I just kept selling these, man, all week. And I wish I even went more aggressive. I only did, 4 contracts, 5 contracts, 4 contracts. which I get may sound like a lot to certain people. I get it, but like when I sold these, I had enough to sell another tranche at 500, another 500 or 5 contracts. So like it would have been nice if I had just put the whole load in here, but I honestly thought we might drop further. I gotta stop listening to Bob Bear. Bob Bear makes me think that sometimes. Non-taxable, but that helps a ton. Kind of okay, cool, man. Good. Yeah, let me know if you got any other questions on that. But yeah, Reddit was great, and I bought back the one when it was at like 90% profit or close to that, and then I bought back nothing else. I let the others expire. I thought about buying them back, but then I didn't. Did I? Oh, I did. I bought this one back because I think, yeah, I sold some for next week, which are awesome price again. And already, I think I could buy these back for like 60% already. I should have looked. Shoot. I can look at that right now. I'm a dope. Well, I'm not a dope. I was doing the video, the stream for you guys. So I was working, okay? I work too sometimes. These are September 12th. Oh, wow. They're not even on the list anymore. Weather puts. Anyway. They were 225. Was that what I had? Yeah, 225. So 225. Let's go to just click 20 is faster. 225 would be 250. So they're at 50% now. 50%'s not bad a day in, right? Those are literally 1 day old contracts, maybe two. No, I think they're one. So I could have bought those back for better than 50% profit, but honestly, whatever. It's sometimes you gotta not overmanage a position either, and you can drive yourself nuts with this buyback stuff. I think I do like what Muffin Man's been doing the last couple of weeks. He's just letting stuff ride into the sunset, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to force it, but sometimes when you see the opportunity, especially if you're at 95%, you're better off on a CSP buying those back, especially CSPs, because you can redeploy the capital. You might be better off on the CCs too, because you can redeploy the CC, rolling it essentially. Although I recommend in those cases you close it, get the profit, then sell another option. You avoid some fees that way. There's extra fees in rolling at certain brokerages, probably all of them, but certainly the one I use. So something to think about anyway. Look at that, 240 at the money, $8 for next week. Holy cow, I might sell that. I mean, 800 divided by 240 is the way I like to do this. 3 1/3%. Oh man, that is juicy. Ooh, that's going on the menu for next week. Definitely. 232 cost basis with that. That's fine. That's fine. Hello, Ryan. Why don't you want shares called away in a taxable account? Are premiums taxed differently, or trying to avoid a taxable event? Yes, exactly. So in the Reddit case that I have, my cost basis is $47, and now it's $240, right? So not only do you have the taxable of the premium, but you also have it on damn near $200 a share of gains across, that position is like 300 shares. So that's $60K. I just don't want to pay that if I don't have to. I have conviction in Reddit long term personally for me. So like my goal is to hold that to $500 a stock. I'm not financial advice. I'm not suggesting that will happen. I can't know that. I like the stock, to quote another famous guy. And I do think we will one day be there, So in that case, why not just roll it out indefinitely as needed? I'll roll that out literally as long as I can, or at the very least until next year. And then that's a problem for future rise, right? So, actually, that's not including the premiums reducing the cost basis. That's straight up the cost basis. So, I got them early. I bought them here. Nope, here. Nope, all the way back. Yeah, like here. Oh, that's cool. What is this, a dinosaur? Is that IPO symbols, a dinosaur or something? Yeah, they were 40, 45, 47 bucks. Yeah, somewhere over here, right? So like that chart's gone a long way since I got in there. And you just got to manage it based on your goals, right, and your situation. It would just be an annoyance to have them all taxed right now. In theory, you wouldn't care about the tax on it. When in theory, once it hits a year, yes. So good point. Number one, ideally the shares are in the long-term capital gains category, and if they are, good. Then you can at least be like you're not taking the 20% ordinary income type hit. You're at whatever it is, 10%. I don't remember. I think that's what it is. So like you save tax on that. And I've got another 5 months. So I would literally roll mine out to leaps to save 10% on the tax hit before I let them go. But I think it's unlikely I would have to roll them out too far. Realistically, if we hit 260, I'm just rolling them out to like 275 or something because the premiums will likely allow me to do that with how volatile the stock is and the IV obviously it'll give me that capability. So I'm not worried about it, by the way. If it were to happen, like worst case scenario, okay, whatever, I'm taxed and I got to pay 20% on 60K gains. Wow. Like talk about a first world problem. Yeah, well, that's all good, man. As it grows, you're gonna be facing the same type of questions, and it's good to start small. Honestly, it's the best way to learn. So you can't burn yourself too badly. I mean, you can blow up your port, but at least it's not. It's you know it's a good way to experiment without risking a lifetime worth of work and effort, right? Okay, Tangent Central. That's who we are. I should change my name. So we talked through Reddit. Reddit was good. And then we had the Lucid disaster. Ugh. All right, Lucid, we're going to let's look at my historical Lucid trades. I'm real curious if I've broken even. I don't think I did. I think I'm going to end up underwater across the lifetime trades. Minus 3K in total on Lucid. Oh, that sucks. I had a good start and then it just crashed and burned. And I had that one chance to get out, but I was covered and couldn't when it spiked back to $3, which was my most recent cost basis there. This is the 1 to 10 reverse split going to 30. So that was unfortunate. But again, we already talked about this. I bought back my CC and then same day sold the shares for 8K. And I was like, no, I'm good. We'll take that loss. So this week it's a 6K hit. But it still worked out pretty well. We net more than we lost. That's kind of all that matters. So good result. Not good result. Good result for the week, but this is why you got to be careful with how cheap of stocks you play with. You can get burned. And historically, the stocks that I've gotten burned on are either ones that I'm not aligned with conviction-wise or patience-wise. That would be stocks like AMD and Uber. Although I didn't get burned on Uber. I think AMD I took a loss on. One of my few losses I took. Uber, I think I just waited it out for a couple of months and came out on top by it wasn't a great return. I didn't even realize what a small position this was. I don't know why I worried about it so much, but I did get out of that just fine. AMD was a different story. I guess I should bring that up because why not? Couple of trades here. And I didn't take that big of a loss on that either. In fact, it was 2K total loss. Whatever. Wow, again, terrible. But I didn't like playing them. The premiums were not my style. The stock was not my style. And sometimes you just got to know thyself, right? And that was a learning moment of, all right, we're going to get out of this one and move to something else. So Lucid's the same bucket. I enjoyed playing it a little bit. And then, frankly, they lost their luster. I don't believe in their execution ability. I have the same problem with Rivian, by the way. I I love the cars. The Rivian car is amazing. I've been in it. My friend's got one. I've got a Tesla. He's got a Rivian. It's cool. But like the stock just drives me nuts. Look at this channel that it's been in for years. All right, let's look at the 1 year so I'm not like throwing up looking at the chart. Right? Like it's been in this tight channel forever. Over a year. Maybe 2. I don't know. Something like that. And this is just not my style. It's just not, the premiums aren't that great. They're not terrible as a percent, really, but I don't want to own it. Is really what it comes down to. So for me, it's definitely not like my go-to. I don't know why the circle is here. I think I drew that when I was talking to somebody about it. So okay, I'm not sure how we got. Oh, Lucid, that's right. So Lucid, I'm out. And frankly, not a whole lot else to talk about there. It's fine. We're all gonna have, these plays that seem great at a glance. Like honestly, the LDI play I'm in right now is no better, right? Like, although I do want to see what is the LDI leap at right now, or where did we end the day at? Because I didn't check it at the end of the day. So these are March 2026, $2. All right, $1.40 we'll call it. So pretty good. Those I have 65 cents cost basis. So they're up 100%. Nice. Okay, that's cool. Very good. Oh, and all right. Hey, let's go. Let's keep moving on because I'm getting distracted again. Hello, Dusty Johnny. Do I feel that CSPs and CCs work more in bull markets, or do they still work in bearish markets? So they work in any market. Okay, here's where they don't work. They don't work in rocket markets, right? Like if they work well in sideways, they work well in bull markets for sure, and they work in bear markets for sure. The key is, and I don't know if you're one of our Discord members or not, so like if I'm being repetitive, I apologize, but if you are, I have my 5 golden rules that I follow, right? I've posted it on After Hour and all that. It's on the website too. So if you don't know, it's datedaddies.com. There's a blog, and we've got the 5 golden rules there. So if you're not on the Discord, you can check them out. But if you stick to owning stocks that you want to own, like when I rode Reddit through a horrendous bear cycle. I don't want to call it bear market. It was, it was a cycle. This was the tariff mania, right? I had shares at 47 up to 230, back down to 80, and I sold options all the way down. But you know what? Here's what happened. And I just posted this recently, like recently being this morning, ironically. I don't think that's what irony is, by the way, according to Alanis Morissette. Like the whole way, we just made money. The whole way. 140K selling options. And that was a big drop. We just kept lowering our cost basis. But we collected it in premiums. And if you don't adjust your cost basis in your accounting, it's just money. It's just cash, right? So like I like to realize the cash and how I account versus taking it out of the cost basis. I think you can do either, but you can't do both. If you do both, you're fooling yourself. You're double dipping in some capacity. We also made gains. I will point out that included some gains from share appreciation and share sales. A couple of which were big, but without that, we still pulled in a ton just from selling CSPs or at the money CCs. And there were a couple times where I sold below cost basis covered calls, which is a little risky. But I think once I rolled them out to avoid assignment, and another time I let them get assigned and bought back at the same price or cheaper, right? Like that happens too. So for sure, it does work in a bear market. You slightly adjust your approach based on what's happening. Ideally, in a bear market, you're selling, if you own the shares, you're selling and if you're selling CSPs, you will soon own the shares because the price will just drop. You just sell at the money CCs on your way down. And it feels like it gets harder the further away you get. You can have a little patience. I do that sometimes with certain positions. You'll see it here later today, actually. But otherwise, you can just sell it down and keep adjusting down. Or if you have good position sizing and you didn't go all in on a position, you can wait a bit and then average down with more CSPs. And then your cost basis for selling CCs is legitimately lowered by law of averaging, right? You just average out your prices. And that allows you to get closer to the money, closer to at the money CCs on your shares, which gives you better premiums and better returns. So most definitely, look, my whole portfolio is wheeling, and I started it in February, and like the number has gotten pretty big. This is the total gains for the year to date. So yeah, I think you could do it in any market. Now, the one thing you have to be aware of is there are going to be times where a stock rockets and you miss out on that. In the brokerage screen, it shows that as a loss. It's not a loss. That's a lie. That's a straight lie. It is max profit, and you have to think of it that way because you choose the profit up front. If you're not comfortable with that, don't cover the shares. And I'll give you an example. Reddit, again, when we went through this last earnings cycle, I didn't cover my shares because I had a feeling this was happening, and it did, obviously. So I waited this last week before earnings. I'm like, nope, that's it. I'm not covering. I'm holding. And then we exploded, right? Now, if you cover, this would be lost. It's not lost, though. It's missed. It's missed. You don't get it. And that's the thing that you need to watch out for. However, you can plan around earnings, right? You don't need to sell options around earnings. What you can't plan around are things like black swan events, insider trading type information that nobody knows except like whatever. Trump's going to say something that just either destroys your stock or makes it explode. That's going to happen. Get over it. Or if you can't get over it, it's not the strategy for you. But if you can be consistent with it and just take 1% a week, guess what? Your gains are 68 or 72% for the year compounded, right? If you keep doing that all year long, that's real. And when you average that out across a diverse portfolio, you're officially going to beat SPY. Like that's just how it is. And up or down. That's the beauty. So I think it's a great way to go. There definitely is a component of picking the right stocks, right? Like that is a risk. If you pick shitty stocks, I'm sorry, the underlying dropping is the only real risk in doing this. Outside of, well, like I said, the spikes up. So that's your real risk when you go through this. It's a mindset. Your HIMs you bought back at a loss for selling below your... Oh, yeah, that happens sometimes. Do I sell weeklies? Yeah, right now I've got a bunch. Most of what we're showing here today is weeklies. Almost all this is. However, the Lucid was a leap. Not a leap, but it was out to January. I bought them back, though. The CoreWeave was 2 weeks, which we would call weeklies still, but 2 weeks. You have to do an APR to really normalize it. But I have stuff that are monthlies, right? We got stuff out in September. And then I have some rolling that I've done on deck. That's probably the only thing that I've rolled. That is also in January. And then I have some leaps. These are bought. These are bought. We'll talk about that at the end, though. So I like weeklies and monthlies for the most part. And depending on the situation of the stock, like if a stock is depressed and I'm at max position size, I'm doing a monthly, most likely on a CC, or at least looking at that before I sell below cost basis, because it is a risk. And you can take calculated risks. I did it with HIMS and sold $48 Cs, and it worked out last week. This week, I'm glad I didn't. I sold out into, I thought I had them covered. Did I buy them back? Maybe I bought them back. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe I'm missing a trade here. Usually I'm pretty good at that, but it looks like I might be missing it. I'll check that later. But like that one made more sense to sell a monthly in September, right? So that's what you got to look at. Of course, like CRML here, Core Metals, they don't have weeklies, so you're limited based on what the options provide, for sure. You'd rather take the profit. There's always another opportunity tomorrow. No truer words have ever been spoken, Mr. Justin P. All right. Where were we? We got off on another tangent. Oh, ASTS, to the moon. So this was fine. I sold a CC on a 48C. I think I bought this back too, by the way. No, I didn't. I let this one expire. Okay, good. That would have been a waste because it's at like, I don't know why. This doesn't update it correctly. Oh, because, oh my gosh, I somehow lost I was wondering why that was off. I lost the formula. ASTS, this was, the funny thing is, this was in the money at one point, and then they tanked the last couple of days, Rocket Lab and ASTS. I still don't really know why. I didn't get a chance to dig into that too much. Let's click on ASTS here. Yeah. So I think we'll be fine here. I think we'll bounce again off this same bottom and probably end back up in the same range we've been oscillating in until either earnings or some other catalyst pops out. But ASTS can be a trusted meme stock. I shouldn't call it a meme stock. I know some of you take personal offense to that. I'm sorry. But overall, like, I'm comfortable here. I just averaged down with 42 CSPs for next week. And I don't know. If they're assigned, fine. They were like, I don't know, $1.50, so $40 cost basis-ish, 40.50. And that'll average me down from 48 to, were they 42 or 41? They might have been 41 CSPs. That sounds right. That'll average me down to whatever, 45 or what. I can't do the math right now. I've had a couple too many high noons. I apologize. So that's been a good spot to be in. I like ASTS. The premiums are nice. It's like you can rely on this volatility to some degree, which is like the dream, kind of like Reddit in that respect in the space world. And I think they are a legitimate company that are starting to generate real revenue. They've got real partnerships and could be a stock worth looking into if you're into that type of stuff. You learned it from me. Okay, good. Good job listening. I appreciate that. I always wonder if people listen to anything I say. I never know. All right, let's look at opening this other can. Hold on a second. Perfect. So ASTS, that trade was fine. And next week's trade, also fine. $1.50. Okay, so yeah, it was 41. Oh, yeah, so 39.50 cost basis. Beautiful. I'll take that all day. Happy to own those shares. Google, my nemesis. It will not let me buy it through CSP. What the hell, man? Come on, Google. I only have 70 shares here. Oklo. Wait, really? They got land? I did not know that. That's like kind of bullish, isn't it? I haven't clicked. Oh, I don't even have Oklo on my list. We're going to click that real quick. Oh, they're not doing anything new, though. They're still they've been range bound here for a couple weeks. And also, I think they're topped out. I wonder. I won't buy Oklo, by the way. By the way, cup and handle. Just going to throw that out there. I'm not going to draw it, but it's there. You can see it pretty clearly. Oklo's scary to me because they don't have revenue. So it's so speculative. Do I believe they will and can and will make money? Yes. Do I think it's in line with their current valuations? I don't know about that. Although maybe 10 billion is not that out of whack, but it feels... one of the things I like to check out sometimes is on Google. They have like the employee count. And I don't know how accurate this is, but 120 employees for a $10 billion company does not seem like enough. You know what I mean? There are like these quantum stocks, like Qubit. Is it Qubit? Yeah, they've got a market cap of $2.5 billion. Employee count 46. Like, all right, look, dude, I don't know about this. I don't know what you're trying to peddle. Also, I you burned me bad that one time. My only other really big loss was Qubit, which was again like $5,000, whatever. But all these quantum stocks. What's the other one? QBTS maybe. Oh, they actually have more employees. Good for them. What does Rigetti have? I never looked at them. And they're the memeiest. Wow, 139 on 5 billion. Yeah, come on. Like that's how you know a company is wildly speculatively overvalued. Just gonna throw that out there. Y12. What is Y12? Oh, I gotta catch up. Alec, you drinking any of your high noons? I know it's in your fridge. What he said on CNBC today. Oh, okay, cool. Oslo are probably working with SMR companies in OR. Why do you guys use so many? I love how you used a acronym and then spelled out the entirety of it. What is Y12? Oh, you gotta get up. I gotta get up early tomorrow too. Actually, that reminds me. I probably can't go that late today. I'm helping a buddy who is running a backyard ultra marathon, and it is. He wants to win, and it's like to win he has to go. It's 4 miles every hour. If you didn't know, backyard ultra is an ultra marathon. You only run 4 miles at a time, and you have an hour to finish those 4 miles. And then on the hour, every hour, the next lap starts, and you have to do it again. And you're out if you don't make it to the finish line in time for the next lap. Well, the winner last year did 50 hours, which, by the way, is 200 miles. So my buddy wants to win. He wants to beat that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, I'm gonna crew the first 3 hours, which are the easiest 3 hours to crew out of an ultra backyard ultra. That's pretty wild. You landed. Oh, welcome home. That's good to hear. So, yeah, I got to get up somewhat early. I don't have to get up till 7, so I got a little bit of time. All right. We're lost again. Google, you son of a... It's paid pretty well, though. I mean, $1,000 on it this week is really good because the position size is basically 50K. It's only 2 contracts. So I bought, or I sold and bought back that once, twice. No, I didn't buy it back. Yeah, I let this one expire. Yeah, because I tried. This was in the money. These 230s, it was in the money after it spiked that ridiculous spike the other night, which I guess I'll bring that chart up too real quick. By the way, this cup and handle was great just early. This spike here, I bought or I sold when we were at like 227. No, 228 because it's 250. Yeah. So it was very short dated. It was like 2 or 3 days. And still, I can't get these shares. I'm going to continue to sell these stupid shares until I get shares. That's just, CSPs. Until I get shares. Repeatedly. I want the shares. And you might ask, well, why don't you just buy the shares, dumbass? Well, because, my goal is 1% a week, and I want to hit my 1% a week in premiums generated because that is more meaningful than any individual ticker to me, except for Reddit. So, yeah, in this case, whatever. I'm happy with the result. That's a 2% return on that particular position sizing. Better than that, actually. For a stock that doesn't actually offer that good of CSPs in terms of premium. It's generally up 1%. But when you can do that twice in a week, that's 2%. That's pretty good. So I'm very happy with that overall. That was a fantastic result. Go Google. Keep going. All right, this one, I don't know what's happening. Archer, what the hell, man? The only breaker of morals, yes. my first love, second love, second love. Uh, yeah. So if you look at Archer, I sold 850 CSPs when it was at 840. That's how I got 20 cents because there was no way to get it. It was only a few days out, by the way, when I did that. So like the return was pretty decent because it was in the money, right? 20 divided by 8.5 is almost a 2.5% return. Awesome. I mean, it takes 30 contracts to get that, any sort of material value. But I was happy with that, and I thought there was a chance that it would finish out of the money. I thought we had a good shot at finishing above 850. I did not plan on 850, and the fact is, I don't know and will not know until either tomorrow or Sunday if the shares got assigned to me. It's fine if it does. I'd actually prefer it does because I have $11 cost basis shares, so I'll basically cut that in half with this transaction because it's a same size as the other one. It'll take me up to like a 4% position. I don't think I want to go much higher, but I would like to be able to sell above cost basis CCs. So, that is the wrong button. So that would let me do 8.5 plus 11 divided by 2 is 9.75. So $10 Cs would be okay. That might be hard to sell unless I do monthlies because of the premium. I mean, we can, like, the premium's kind of shit on Archer at times. Like, if we take a look at that now, you'll see that next week I'm going to sell them for 5 cents, on $10, right? Like 2 cents? Nah, not going to do it. The 19th, maybe 10 cents, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But realistically, this could be one that I look out to October. The monthly. So the monthly coming up is basically a weekly at this point, right? So realistically, you got to go closer to we always say monthlies are 30 to 45 days to expiration. So really we'd be looking at the 45 end of the range. And that will give me a much better price at basically 3%. But 3% APR is only going to be like 30% total, which is below my goal. However, better to do something than nothing, and there's a potential that you'll be able to buy it back anyway and do it soon. Do another, yeah, hopefully not, because buying it back at that point would be a bad sign. That would be the underlying drop to like $7 or something, but definitely a possibility. Yeah, I don't know why they've very much. The IV has shrunk dramatically. 62 is just not that strong of an IV anymore. Do I want to hold out a day or two? Yeah, I do, and I have been. My Archer shares are uncovered, the CCs. So there's currently no Archer calls that I have. So I have 3,000 shares that have been uncovered for the better part of a week or two, which can feel painful. But you got to remember, like, look, how often do you wrap up the week with cash? If you wrap up the week with cash, you're not fully deployed anyway. So do you really need to force every week a covered call on your shares if you're at a really depressing level and it seems like it can only go up from here? Famous last words, obviously. So there have been many instances in the last month where I've just been like, HIMS. I did it with HIMS too. I'm not going to sell any right now. We'll just wait a week. And with HIMS, it worked out. And then I covered $55 either September or October calls on those. And now we went from 42 to 48, right? Like, I'm not sure where we ended. Maybe we dropped to 47 today. But you know what I mean, right? Like we spiked up pretty good for a little bit there today and yesterday on HIMS. 48 we ended at. Okay. Well, that's pretty good, actually. That's a pretty good recovery. As high as 49. Woo! So, like, I didn't sell here. I think I sold around here somewhere. Yeah, it was just sub 45 or at 45. It was in the wick. Yeah, I was at 45. I sold 55 Cs for decent premium, and then boom, this happened, right? Like, you don't know. This could have been a bear flag. It wasn't, thankfully. I didn't think it was either, but it could have been. And waiting's okay. I took what I thought was like an educated split the difference type of bet. And at 55, there's a ton of time, a ton of room to be made up. And frankly, if I'm sitting in the money for a couple weeks, that's cool. Especially when you were down at one point 20%, right? Or 15%. That's part of the game though, right? So like I think patience is good. No need to force things. And definitely, like, as much as you can feel like you need to do something, sometimes just sitting on your hands is totally fine. Like selling CCs here at all-time lows, not all-time lows, obviously, all-time lows is like $3, but at recent lows, which was also a resistance point, kind of dumb. All right, because this is a probable point of bouncing off, which is exactly what happened multiple times, by the way. Here, and then again here. So this is not where you lose your cool and just try to force something. Wait a day or two, or apparently 4. That was the magic number on this one. But that's okay, right? Like I'm good with my position. It has a fine return, and especially on like the current the capital base that it was. Do I think? Do I think Archer's close to the bottom? Let's look. I think historically, Archer has been way lower. I don't think we're going back here. That would be scary. I don't think we're going to go even down here because this was the April trough. So like, yeah, I do think this is probably the bottom. Sorry, hold on one second. All right, I think I'm back. Good. I think this is realistically pretty close to the bottom. And we do have some big names out there on like After Hour that have, what's his name? Not long. The Young Ember, the other dragon guy, he just bought 12,000 shares at 850. I think a lot of people recognize this as a potentially good point of entry. That doesn't mean anything. It's in this channel here, right? Like a channel we've been in, but it looks at the bottom of the channel. If you ignore the bottom of this cup, that was again April, which nothing counts anymore back there, unless we have a true bring back the recession type shit. I think, realistically, I would think we make our way back to 9, at least. Maybe better. That's my take. Similar with Hims and Bull, they're both still above cost, but closer to the bottom to go up a little more. Yeah. No, I would wait. Hims now though is a good spot. I would definitely look at selling C's cover calls on them now. Do you share your trade tracker spreadsheet? I do. It's in the Discord. So go check us out there. I will warn you now that it's for paid members, and I'm not like. I guess this is an advertisement. I wasn't. I don't. I'm the worst sales guy ever. The Discord's awesome. Everybody there is amazing. If you do sign up, you can get the tracker, which a lot of people use, and people have improved it beyond what I've done with it. They've made it like hook automatically to Robinhood and wild stuff like that. But there is a free version floating around somewhere. If that's something you're interested in finding, you'd have to find it through After Hour though, and it's not automated. The one that I've got now, like everything is pretty well automated. As I update stuff here, everything here gets updated except for these boxes here that I type in manually. Although realistically, I generally only type these, and I guess the date, because these are from specific dates, right? Everything else happens automatic, which is kind of neat. There are some things that I'd still like to do with it. The only thing that I don't have done on it that I'd like to do is I'd like to highlight the shares that I have that are covered. And I know the logic to do it, but the formatting just doesn't work. I don't know why. I can't figure it out. And I'm not that dumb. Like I generally can figure out that type of stuff. So it's probably a Google Sheet limitation, but there's ways to do it. I just haven't put the effort into it. But yeah, check that out if you want. I definitely think if you like what we're talking about, look, we have zero complaints about the Discord. That's kind of how it is. So check it out. It's I think of good value to people, and you got a sale going on, so get in while you can. All right, the last trade, active trade that closed this week was Robin, and this is a funny one because like I feel good about it. I bought it. I bought Robin at 54. I was, check in. This was a good TA project here where Robin and Hood were at this, we hit the bottom fib. We went beyond the bottom fib a little bit, but I bought a 54, which is basically like 99 and change, maybe 98 and change. And then I just sold it at the end of the day at, I'll click on Robin so it makes more sense, at 56 something, 27 or whatever. So not the top and not the bottom, directionally correct, and made a couple $1,000s. That works, right? I like that trade. I like that. And I believe Post is at 65. Because so here was the problem. We talked about this at 4 o'clock, right? 5 o'clock, and Bob Dog was like, "Hey, gotta get your shares because we're about to find out if it's at the S&P if it's going to be added or not." I'm like, "Oh yeah." And then my wife texts me. She's like, "Are you getting our daughter from school?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I gotta go, guys. Bye." I leave, and in the process of leaving, the trade window was still open. Like I'd never placed the after hour trade and missed out. I don't think I missed. I wouldn't have. I would not have done the same size trade because it was a big trade, like a 4% swing trade, which is. I don't mind owning Robin, but it's a leveraged ETF, so it's a little. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine for what I wanted to do. It's within my risk tolerance, but I don't think I would have done that large after hours. I probably would have done a couple hundred shares. So maybe I missed out on another 1,000 or two, whatever. Like Justin just said, there will be more opportunities in the future. But it was cool because you know what I liked about this? You all made some money. As far as I can tell, a whole bunch of people followed that trade. And I was happy to see that a lot of people got to check that box for they're paying for this weekend's dinner somewhere nice because they made $200, a couple $1,000. Bob Dog stole my trade and doubled my return because he actually held on to his shares like a smart man. Well, risky, but that's Bob. And no, I'm really excited for it. That's great. You have a complaint? It's too awesome. That's so true. I agree. I love it, dude. I love spending time with you guys there and girls. It's so cool. All right, now you're all selling for me. Awesome. No spare cash. Yeah, well, you only need 50. You only needed $50 to make another 5 or so. Did you do it? Hell yeah, dude. Nice, super. That is great. So that was my plan, was to maybe go up as high as half. I don't know. Even half was a little questionable. I probably wouldn't have done half. I probably would have done another like maybe 200 shares instead. Like the first time was 1,000. That was a pretty big position, honestly, for a swing trade. But yeah, I honestly like if I'm going to swing trade, I prefer to do it in 1,000 share increments because you can just calculate the return based on if the share price goes up $1, you made $1,000, and if it went up $2, you made two. So that's kind of nice. That said, Hood is not it. That it wasn't even that amazing. We're at 66. Maybe we start a run up again. I don't know. I'm gonna say this right now. I'm not sure we're all of a sudden out of the woods. I think Hood is sideways trading for a while here. Yeah, I am not sold that all of the sudden we're going to. I'll go to Hood, not Robin. Not a big difference, but price wise, but percentage is the same. I'm not sold that we are going to all of a sudden jump into the 120s. Maybe next earnings we will, but from now till then, I don't know. I don't see it. Yeah, Angleton. I think most people make the membership back every week times five. So no, I'm very proud of the what we've built there. It is life changing for me in that I love what I do now. I brag about it to people. I used to be like, yeah, it's one of those things where I had a fancy sounding job title, right? I'm like, plant manager or director of ops or whatever job I was doing. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, but it sucks. The job sucks. I work a lot. I don't like it. I'm good at it, but I don't like it. I love this. I love the Theta Daddies. I really do. All right, what do we got left here? I'm going to keep going on loving tangents. Just the high noons don't help. They make me emotional. I can't watch Ted Lasso with high noons because I just cry. We got Reddit. We got some stuff open next week. Both calls. This is like a strangle, I guess, or a spread of. We've got calls at 260 and different accounts, but and we talked about the 260 already. And more CSPs at 225, which if we open anywhere where we closed today, on Monday we open there, I will likely buy these back for, I would guess, 60, 70% profit. We're too far away at this point. And I will open more CSPs at the money. Like, I want the shares. ASTS, yep, we already went over that. I've got those lined up. This will double my position, bring down my cost basis, and I like the spot. I like where we're at. This is a good one. Bull. Okay, so I sold what I thought were 60 freaking contracts, only to find out that it was partially filled. I got 5. I was like, oh, that's underwhelming. $150. Why bother? Like, whatever. They're not bad. These are out in the monthly range. Not really monthlies anymore, obviously, but decent premiums. This is thanks to the lowered cost basis from getting assigned shares on the $14 puts. I might make one more adjustment on Bull and sell another 30 contracts if we were to drop below 12. I don't want us to. I really don't. Like, that would not be good, but I will do it likely if that happens. I think that's fine. ASML big run. What is ASML? ASL, like age, sex, location from AOL? Are we still talking AOL or is that something else? My home away from home too. It's my home in my home. I do it from my office. In my house. Well, as I wait to figure out what ASML is. Wait, I know what ASML is. I think. This is what the hell is this stock though? I can never remember what they do. Do they make chips? They make chips, right? I think so. That's a pretty big jump. 717. They're Lilly priced. Jeez, expensive. And that's a big jump, actually. Cool. 10% in a few days. Not bad, not bad. Oh, yeah, the lithography. You're going to say this. Every single week, I'm going to be like, what's ASML? You're going to be like, dude, lithography. Okay. What was I doing? Okay, so then next week we've got... we're already past next week. Bull is 2 weeks out. We've got the caramel play here of core metals, I think is what it stands for, or critical metals, whatever it is. And got a couple thousand lined up in this already. Already below cost basis though. I bought this at 660, I think. Right? Yeah, 660. So well below cost basis. That said, the protection on both the covered calls and additional CSPs, they don't, because this is on 750. So I don't know. We'll have to do the math. Good premiums though. So like, I'm going to keep selling these for a bit. We'll wheel them for a couple of months. They are monthlies only. That's one thing I don't really like. We got GME. GME is earnings coming up, by the way. I didn't bring that up yet, but Tuesday, we got earnings on Tuesday for GME. GameStop. What else do we have? We got Oracle, Korn Ferry. What the hell is Korn Ferry? KFY. That sounds like a lube company. And then we've got Chewy. Chewy and GameStop back to back is funny because it's the same CEO. Well, not CEO. You know what I mean, right? Ryan Cohen. He started Chewy, and now he's the GameStop CEO. So that's interesting. Then we've got 10 is mildly interesting. Is that... No, it's not. That's not what I thought it was. I was thinking it was a Chinese company. That's not it. Don't care. Kroger. I know Anya's looking into Kroger randomly. She's on After Hour, and I follow her, and I don't know why she's interested in Kroger. Kroger's okay. Lovesac, I always like to follow. I don't ever touch. Vera Bradley, didn't they? I thought they were like... So they've got to be on the verge of bankruptcy or reverse stock split or both. Reverse stock split for sure coming up here. Oh my God. Look at this burn. Look at this burn down that they've just been for like years. Blech, puke. Absolute puke. Let's look at the all-time. Dude, look at this. The saddest chart of all. It looks like VIX. It looks like VXX, which is a decaying ETF. They had a good like IPO year, and then just, dude, people went all in here at $40 and are still holding to this day, and are down 80%. And I feel for them. I do. I really do. 80%. Is it more than 80%? It's probably more than it. It's like 92%. What is 2 or 40? Oh, it's 95. Ugh, 95%. Gross. Oh, that's brutal. Yikes. 2011. That's about the saddest chart I've ever seen in my life. Next to Lulu recently, by the way. Get wrecked, Lulu. I feel nothing for you. You burned me. You burned me that one time. I'll never forget it. Let's look at the 1 year is abysmal on Lulu. It's all abysmal. I don't know. All the ladies at the bus stop talk about Vuori. Vuori? I don't know how you pronounce it. That's all they wear now. And yeah, Lulu's out. Vuori is in. Do my best, Mr. Mugato. All right, what do we got left? I think we hit all of the earning. Oh, the one thing I didn't talk about, which I did want to talk about, was Lily's still going. There's not a whole lot to talk about there. I'll wait till expiration, and I'm holding Lily X, the 2X fund, until $15, which we've gone as high as $13.50, which is a 35% gain. I'm still holding out though for the big 50. 50%. I think within a month we'll probably be around there, if not sooner. The chart on that's pretty good. We had a rough day today, but like again, you can never look at this stuff on a day-to-day vacuum. I think long term we will continue this trend and eventually cross over this like median line I drew here, and right around here would be the equivalent for Lily X would be I should have looked at that one. 15. There we are. Right. So you can draw literally the same line here. I think it's happening eventually. We gotta have a little bit of patience, right? That's kind of it. No big deal. If that's a week, a month, I don't care. I really don't. I think it'll happen, and then I'm out. Now, maybe actually, I might only sell a portion of the position because, like, if you look at Lily is a long way up, and there's an argument for holding till 20, which may sound crazy, but here's the thing. Oh, Lily X isn't that old. Let's look at Lily again. So if you look at Lily let's look at the 1 year. If you look at the 1 year, we've been as high as almost 1,000, 973, and currently we're at 727, right? So we need to get to about 775, 780 for that Lily X play to work out. But there's a lot of opportunity here that Lily likes to be up here. It's got so much going for it. There's so much action in that space right now. This seems inevitable. I like inevitable trades, and that's what this one is to me. So I have, again, not financial advice. Do your own due diligence, but I personally have high conviction for my own money on this particular stock, and I'm excited to see where it goes. But it seems likely we will end up here in what, mid-month, maybe end of the month. I can wait that much time for, another 15% gain for sure. Jesus, what's Jesus got to do with this? Am I going to adjust my strategy at all for FOMC in 2 weeks? Is it 2 weeks or next week? Somebody was asking that earlier. No, not really. Look, I've read a bunch of people are of the opinion that, it's either going to stay flat or go up because the downside is priced in and the upside is just going to uncap. I disagree with that. Personally, I have a more bearish view on it where I think we're either going to I think it's a lose-lose where it's already priced in, or if the rate cut happens as expected, which would be the price-in situation, great. If it doesn't, then we drop. That's my take on it. So in that scenario, ideally I'm 30% cash and my hedge is VXX, and that's kind of it. So I'm not overly worried about it. What will be, and when in doubt, zoom out. Right, like things like to go up and to the right. There may be months of a drop, but then we come back. If I were to bring up maybe SPY instead of some of this other stuff, look at the chart, man. This really scary time, people thought the world was ending, and boom, all-time highs. That's just like history repeating over and over and over and over. So no, I'm not like planning on adjusting a whole lot here. I think that there'll be some good volatility to take advantage of, right? I look forward to that. Beyond that, no, I don't think I'm going to do anything too much different. The LDI play, which I haven't talked about yet, that kind of goes with it a little bit. That's like the one bet on rate cuts is LDI gets helped out. So, already talked about DEC last time, so not a whole lot to talk about here. And then here are my... I have a new Leap. I just bought it. I bought NVIDIA by one contract for 160. It's open, and it was 35.63 for January of 2027. Oh my God, I didn't realize how far out that was. That goes down here, then it's so far out, and that's a C. And I'm doing this with Showcase Peer Pressure. That was an expensive one, by the way. Really. For one contract, $3,500? Come on! But yeah, so I've got LDI, 20 of those, and this is up 100% already. That's kind of cool. We got Merck, which was a average advisor call out, and I like this one. This one I think has some opportunity. I also have TTD, which has been like treading water. I don't think it's going to go down any further, especially there's no like real reason for it to. And there's a strong support at 50 for the what is this chart? There we go. So like, I think we're in good shape where we are. We're in this channel. And at some point, I do think it's going to spike back up. I'm holding this one for ideally like a 300% return. Greedy, I know, but that's what we do here with Leaps. Like, I don't know why else you would buy Leaps. Like, if you want 20%, I've already hit 20% on it. I'm like, what? It's like $100, a couple $100. Why would you do that? And I don't want to invest that much in it to make it, more worth it. So I'd rather have a small position and go for a bigger return than get a couple $100 out of it. And yeah, that's it. And then Nvidia. So this is just kind of like a long-term play. Showcase had some good sells on it. Really was talking about like the constant expansion and the amount of hardware that goes into these expansions for data centers and whatnot. I think it's bullish long term. I think everyone has seen by now that AI is the future, whether or not you like it, and the hardware will need to be there to support it. So Nvidia, CoreWeave, those are my two plays currently on it. I guess arguably, TTD doesn't really count on that. Those are my two major plays on it. I don't think I've got anything else that really qualifies for it. Nah. But, I think that's a space worth investing in long term as the future. Quantum, nah, not here. Not here anytime soon. Too speculative. I'm not touching it again. I got burned once. I'm not touching it again. Wake me up in 10 years and I'll probably buy some quantum stocks. That's my thoughts on it. Do I count my leaps in the weekly tracker? Yes, I do, but only when I close them. So if I were to sell to close the leaps, I would most definitely count profit, or I count everything, by the way. I count any transaction because so the tracker was made for me personally. I made it for myself. So like, and then I made it for everybody, but really for myself to track weekly gains. And so when I look at it, I want to know what my actual performance was. Now, a lot of people just do premiums. That's fine. I don't care, right? Like we're not, which by the way, I got to update the tracker, don't I? Shoot. I'll do that after the call. I don't care, but for me, it's important for me to look at my actual, I want to share my losses. I want to share this shit Lucid trade that I got out of and cost 6K or 3K across the lifetime of it. Like that's important, I think. And I think for me, as one of the Theta Daddy coaches and leaders, it would be disingenuous to just have the premiums of options. You can game that if you wanted to, right? Like if I just wanted to look really good on paper, dude, just sell deep in the money calls or puts, and like you'll make a little less on it, but your sheet will look real nice, right? That's not what it's about for me. So like ideally everyone sees transparency in my trades. If I can be trusted on that, I've accomplished one of my goals. And I think everybody will learn that, like, okay, yes, he wheels primarily, but sometimes I do swing trades. Sometimes I buy leaps. Very, very rarely I buy some degenerate call option that's only a month away or something. In fact, I haven't done that in a long time. Like the shortest one I've done was the Lulu one, which was 3 months. And I think it's the whole picture that I want to share because, well, I love the wheel. I got to be, the biggest proponent of the wheel on the internet, on AOL.com at least. And if I just showed the wheel, it's not representative of like who I am as a trader. And then I feel like, do you hide stuff? I don't want to hide anything. I just want to say shit. I just want to say it how it is. And, there will be times where I'm wrong and I will highlight that. I will share it. And there will be times that I make big wins. I take credit for the Robin call today, right? That was cool. But, that was after losing on Lucid. Net positive. It was a great week at the end of the day. So the whole story is told with sharing all of it. Now, for what we advertise and do on Theta Daddies, yeah, I call out when I buy some stupid shit like caramel, like don't buy this, don't do this, or this, like LDI. I didn't even post this. I think I posted it in Leaps and did not post it in the trade channel for that reason. I'm like, no, like this is, as you can see, a dick play. So don't. I don't recommend it. Did it work out? Yes, so far anyway. But I don't want to hide it. At the end of the day, I think it's important because there's learnings that come from all of these, good or bad, and that's ultimately how we all get better. So why hide it? Soapbox over. You track it all as well. Cool, man. That's good. I think it's good. Got to track it all and then just label what it is. Yeah, exactly. I agree. I appreciate you, Justin. Speaking of which, we are, I think we're done. Anything you guys want to look at while I'm here? I know we covered some stuff earlier, and I hit a bunch of stuff. The earnings are not very exciting this week, so not a whole lot to talk about there. But I'm happy to shoot the breeze for a few minutes. Anything of wild interest? You're sleepy. Stop keeping you up. Well, go to bed, dude. What are you doing up? You gotta get up at 5. Dude, when I get up at 5, I'm in bed by 9. Sleeping. Like trying to sleep. You should go to bed. For real. I appreciate you joining. That's what this is. This, I don't know if you see my cup. That's F3. I do morning workouts outside for dudes only. Sorry, ladies. And it's but if you got husbands, get them out there. Make them go work out outside. We work out in the winter, in the summer, in the spring, in the fall, in the rain, in the shine. It doesn't matter. Well, there's no shine because it's always dark. But yeah, it's a good time. Good way to meet people. Really good if you move somewhere. It's actually global too. It's not just U.S. Free, by the way. It's all free. But good way to keep yourself in shape. Keep that mind tip-top. RM. Hey, dude. Can't chat in the live chat. All right, what do you got, RM? I said, oh, that's weird. Did you get banned? RM got banned from YouTube? Huh. Well, it's good to see you. He's in Discord. I don't know where the text box is. Why can you not type? You got anything you want to look at, RM? Dude, how's the job going? We miss you. You were so active early on. I know you're tied up. It's nothing like you don't like us anymore, but we do miss you. Bathroom training. I love that story, by the way. Every once in a while, I'll be like, yeah, we got this one guy on our Discord. I'm telling somebody about what type of people do you have on your Discord? Well, there's this one guy that only trades from the bathroom at work. He's busy all day. What are you going to do? But I appreciate your tenacity to make sure that you're selling options. Are you doing weeklies or what do you got? I hope you are. I hope you're keeping busy on it. Oh, wait a sec. Did we just get we just got a new Super Daddy. All right. Look at that. I don't know who it is, though. Cool. Sorry, I got distracted. Where'd my chat go? I lost him. RM, where are you? There you are. Doing weeklies. What are you trading on? Anything in particular? Let me bring back up YouTube chat too. Scalps in the bathroom. Dude, where else do you scalp but in the bathroom? RM's going to have to change his name to BM. Following a couple other traders. Yeah, Long, dude, I follow Long was here as well. I pay for his Patreon. The Long Investor. I feel like I've heard that name before. Yeah, you got Robin too? Oh, hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Good job. Long's intuition is nuts. Yeah, so like Long is one of those guys where I will steal conviction from, but I like to cut his trades. And I think that's fine, right? Like there's no morals in following a trade. I generally don't enter his trade unless I can get a better price. That's it. Now, the other thing is I've learned about Long is, and I could talk. I feel like I could talk about this freely because it's affecting my trading personally, but it comes from Long. So like, I guess go sign up for his Patreon too. He has a approach where sometimes he's focused on a percent return, but often he goes like, "Oh, look, I just made $14,000." Well, percent wise, maybe that was only a half a percent, but it's an interesting view to take of like, yeah, it's only, who cares if it's only a half a percent? Go get paid, get your return, and if you got 14K, take 14K. Who's complaining about making $14,000 in a trade? And that's kind of reshaped my mind a little bit on certain plays. Like if you're going, the type of play that this is reflected in is like the Robin play. So 1,000 shares at 54 to 56, $2. It's only $2,000, but that trade was less than a day. So who cares what the percent was? Made $2,000. Move on with my life. Muffin Man finally made it, dude. I mentioned you like 7 times today. Were you flying home? You just get home? Cantonese Cat said he was buying RXRX. Are you for real? Dude, all right. I haven't looked at RXRX in 6 months. All right, maybe not that long, but 3 months. Why? Why is he buying it? I do. I am a Cantonese Cat enjoyer, by the way. Is it this? Okay, so here's the thing. If we're talking Cantonese Cat, we got to look at all. Dude is zoomed out like no one's business. And I bet he's going boom, 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 resistance line. It's not a really good one, but that's the type of shit he does, right? Where he's zoomed out on the multi-year cycle, which I love. I think it's great. Did he chart it at all? He said he likes pancakes better. Wait, what? Why did I mention you? Pillow talk. No, we didn't talk pillows at all today. By the way, it's been great. Thank you for the recommendation. I appreciate it. Because Rocket Lab. I brought you up for Rocket Lab, and I feel like one other trade. Maybe not. Maybe Archer. Maybe I brought you up for Archer too. He has it pinned on X that low fours was what he's looking at. Okay, one of the five. Really? Oh God, you know what that means, right? That means that Squeeze Kid is going to be posting this shit all over After Hours again. The problem is, like, I don't think it's a good company. Do you, Muffin? Do you know anything about this piece of shit company? Saul's even puking at the thought of it. Saul, did you play RXRX early on when we first started? I did. I swung traded a few times. I think I made money on it long term, but I also got out of it at one point where I was like so grossed out by owning this stock anymore. I'm mildly embarrassed to have this here. Did I lose money on it? No. What happened here? What? I never put my sell on it. Well, how did I do that? Okay. I couldn't have sold it for less than $4. Okay, well, if we ignore whatever is missing there, I made. This was when I was really like experimenting with some shit on wheeling. So that's actually not a bad return. It was very low position size. It was before I expanded to the larger portfolio. I was only wheeling like, I don't know, 100K at the time. So RX fit the bill at that point. Okay, maybe I shouldn't be that grossed out by it. How am I missing the buy on shares or the sell? I know I sold the shares. I gotta find the price. I know that was in Vanguard. Oh my god, I gotta go find that in Vanguard. Gross. All right, well let's just say I sold it for $4 a share. I'm sure I didn't. I'm sure it was more, but I just want to. That's ruining my numbers. Like that is in the numbers here somewhere, and I just adjusted it one of these numbers by 4K. This May just went up by 4K. Anyway, okay. Lost stacks? Oh, dude, how'd you lose? Oh, sorry, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, RM, you bought 1,000 shares of Robin as well and sold when I sold. Dude, I know. We were talking about that earlier. So I would have sold, for the record, RM. I would have sold anyway. And I would have probably bought back the shares and resold after that, but I would have only bought back a couple hundred shares. The problem was I had to go run to get my daughter, who was yelling at me for being late on picking her up, by the way. So, what do we got? So we got, sounds like a video card by AMD. What? Following the white, I don't know what you guys are talking about all of a sudden. Squeeze Kid got you too. At least I made money off it. I actually look. Squeeze Kid is a weird personality. Honestly, I don't know about that guy, to be honest, but I don't think he's being malicious. Genuinely, I think he's like, these are my trays. He's got a weird niche that he works in, but. And it's very pump and dumpy, but like his name is Squeeze Kid. That's what he goes for. So you kind of gotta, and maybe that's tuition paid, right? Learning like that's what that means, but that's what you're getting into with it. Monster Week, good for you, dude. I'm glad to hear that. How was RX sounds like a video? That's true. RTX. How was the week of travel though? That's the real question. Squeeze Kid, listened to him, didn't know what you were. Yeah, well, if you don't know what you're doing, that is a dangerous game to play. And hey, it worked out with You Found Us. That's pretty cool, I would say. I should update my new goal: 1 million by end of. Oh God, by 2025. Yeah, you're right. Well, the reason is. So RM is bringing up my thermometer. He's like, what the hell's wrong with you? Your goal sucks. And even 500K actually isn't a good goal. He's saying I should do 1 million, which my run rate is now slightly under that, which is, hey, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But he thinks I don't think 1 million is reasonable for a 1% return. I should do the math and see what that comes out to. I think it's like 750 would be a bit of a slight stretch, maybe 800. But I'm sure I've explained this in the past. The reason it's 250 is because this is what my wife said I had to hit in 2025. Oh, by 2026. In 2025 in order to do this full time. And that was back in like February. We had that conversation. So, mission accomplished. All right. What else matters? A lot of work. Another 10. What are you investing in? What are you doing? Did your job every quarter. Okay. Well, hey, that's not too bad. You get a little bit of break for. Did you invest in cybernetic dogs? Is that what you bought? It's the fucking dogs, isn't it? Yeah, I bet. Oh, sorry for the bad words. I forgot. I generally try to keep the language clean here, but it doesn't always work, especially after multiple high noons, and I had a couple drinks at lunch with sushi. It's been a long day. You passed on the. Oh man, that's too bad. I thought, what if, but why don't you open up like a Jurassic Park? There's already been Jurassic Park 4 and 5. 4. You could be 5. All right, all right. I won't bring it on. I won't put it on stream unless you tell me to. All right, Muffin. We're gonna get sushi when I go down to Nashville or wherever you live, somewhere down there, Tennessee. I don't want to blast you out. I'm not doxing you. Sorry. Uh, you're at three. We're at 3.8 million in premiums across State of Daddies, dude. That's wild. Almost at 4. You know what? If everybody filled out their shit, we'd be at 5 million. By the way, like half the time we don't fill out the sheet, myself included. I'll do it after the call. All right. Well, I think that was a lot of fun. So I appreciate everyone for jumping on with me today. As always, I have a great time talking through this stuff, talking through questions, and yeah, good time. So let's catch up next week. Same time, same place. Does that work for you guys? It works for me. Hopefully it works for you. And we'll do it all over again. Until then, you all have a good night. You have a good weekend. And I'll see you on Monday. Thanks for watching.